to the start of the stream. If you're watching this video back, there's probably no one here at the minute. Starting 40 minutes late. I'm going to blame the traffic for that one. So sorry about that. Yeah, I said it might be the case that I might have to start a little bit later because I was doing my best to get back from work as quickly as I could because I'm going to the football tonight. Come on, Man United. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed run this paper a little bit. I'm going to try and do it a little bit quicker than I have previously. I'm going to do about 25 minutes. So that'll bring us up to about 20 to 6. And then I'll finish it there and I'll carry on and do some more tomorrow. Okay, so I'm just getting everything set up here a second. Hopefully give people a little bit of time to join the stream as well. And then I'll get going with the next question. We got up to question 9, which is a standard form question. So I'm just going to give the stream a second, give people a chance to join if they want to, and then I'll, like I say, get started. Okay, let me just check I am live. I should be, hopefully. I am live, right, okay. So, yeah, people, well, everyone's joined in a minute, surprise, surprise. Tomorrow, I will make sure I am on at the time I say I will be starting. Right, now, without any further ado, let's get going with this. So, standard form question, write 3.5 times 10 to the power of 7 as an ordinary number. So what we're going to do, and I'll zoom this in a little bit more so we can see it a little bit easier. There we go. I'm going to times this 3.5 by 10 7 times. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to jump over the 5 once. That's the equivalent of timesing by 10 once. And then after that, I'm going to have to do 6 more jumps. And the inside of those jumps, I'm going to fill it with zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, the other thing we could do with this question, and probably is why it's 1 mark, is we could just put this into our calculator. And that should work. I'll just double check that. Yes, it does it for us. Sometimes when the powers are too big, the calculator won't do it as an ordinary number for you. Right, now the next question. In 2020, Japan produced 6,780,000 more tons of rice than Argentina. Work out the amount of rice Japan produced in 2020. Now, Argentina is this much. Now, if they produce that much more, we're going to add that on. So I'm going to do, on my calculator, 6,780,000 plus 8.2 times 10 to the power of 5. Now, we just have to be aware, it says to leave our answer in standard form. So I'm going to put this in my calculator because why would I not? They're all calculator papers. 8.2 times 10 to the power of 5. Now, there is a standard form button you can use to do this. I wouldn't recommend doing or using that. And the reason why is because it won't look exactly the same on your calculator as it will written. Now, that gives us an answer of 7600, and then 3 more zeros. 1, 2, 3. Now, that in standard form would be, and we need our decimal point to go here between the 7 and the 6, because standard form has to be a number between 1 and 10. It could be 1, can't be 10, has to be less than 10. So it's got to be 7.6. Now that means my decimal point, which is at the moment here, has to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places. So that'd be 7.6 times 10 to the power of 6. So that is our answer. Now, your marks there come from getting the answer as an ordinary number and then the final mark for getting your answer in standard form. Okay. We have got someone watching at the moment. Sorry, 2 people by the looks of it watching, which is good. Again, sorry I started a little bit late, people. Just traffic. I wasn't able to get back in time, unfortunately. Right, next one. This is an interesting one, and I'll zoom in a little bit more here. This is a 1 mark question. We have got 2p in brackets to the power of 0, and that means this 0 applies to everything inside of the bracket, the 2 and the p. Anything to the power of 0 is 1, okay? So we've got 2 to the power of 0, which is 1. P to the power of 0, which is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. That's our answer. Now the next one, here, when you multiply, the index laws state that you must add your powers. We need to add these. Now again, we've got to calculate it, use it, don't make a mistake by thinking you know always what to do with negatives. It's a test, you could be nervous, people make mistakes as well with negative numbers. Okay, but we're going to do 9, add negative 3, that's going to give us 6, that's the value of n. Okay, that's simple. This one, last paper I did, this type of question was on that paper twice. So these types of questions seem to come up fairly regularly. So we need to apply this power, this cubed, to every part of the term inside. So we're going to do 5 cubed, and then we've got a to the power of 4 cubed. Now you multiply the powers, so that's a to the power of 12, and then the same with the c. 2 times 3 is 6. Now we're nearly done. We've got to cube the 5 though, and that's going to be 125 a to the power of 12, c to the power of 6. And that's our answer. Okay, right. Now, going to go back to what I was doing very quickly. There we go. Just checking if we've got anyone watching. It's nice to know that people are watching, but I also know that some people will watch this back later on, which is fine, especially because it didn't start when I said it was planned to start. Okay, next one. To zoom this out slightly here. Okay, question 11. We got this shape. It says the roof support, this is a roof support, that's what the diagram is made from 4 lengths of wood, A, B, so that's all the way along here, A to C, B to C, and MC. So all of those lines, we can see there are pieces of wood, okay, and we've got lengths there of those pieces of wood. Angle AMC, which is labelled as 90 degrees, which means that this must also be 90 degrees. Lewis is going to buy lengths of wood to make the roof support. The wood costs £21.50 or 21.5 or €21.50 per metre. Okay. Each length of wood he buys has to be a whole number of meters, okay? So basically what that means is we're going to have to round up to the nearest, the nearest meter. We're always going to have to round up. We couldn't buy 7.6 meters, we'd have to buy 8. Work out the total cost of the wood Lewis needs to buy, show your working clearly. So what we've got here is we've got an isosceles triangle, and we need to work out all the lengths. So we've got 9, 9 and 12. Now, because it's isosceles and we've got a line coming down from the apex, so point C, to the base, and it meets at a right angle, this must be at the middle of AB. So this length here must be 6, which means if we just look at one triangle, so this left-hand one, to work out the height, M to C or C to M, we need to use Pythagoras. Now, to use Pythagoras, we are going to do square root of 9 squared minus 6 squared, and we're subtracting because we're working out a shorter side. If we're working out the hypotenuse, then you add, you square, you add, you square root. Okay, let's put that into the calculator. That gives us 3 root 5. I'm going to leave that as 3 root 5 at the minute because I don't want to get a rounding error. Okay, so that is this length here, 3 root 5. Now we're going to add all the lengths up, and I'm going to get rid of this 6 here so I don't get confused and write that down as well. So I've got 9. Do you know what? I'll do it up here so we can see it all clearly. So we've got 9, add 9, that's those two sides. We've got plus 12, and then plus 3 root 5. And let's see what that gives us. That gives us 36.7, which means it's 37 meters of wood that is needed. So we now need to do 37 times 21.5. Okay, so let's do that down here. 37 times 21.50. Don't have to include 0, but why not? It's money. That's what it is in the question. times 21.50 gives 795.5 total cost. So 795.50. Do have to put the 0 here because this is money, and money has 2 decimal places. And that is euros, and I don't remember the sign for euros. Hopefully it's on the answer line. No, it just says euros. If I scroll down a little bit more, 795.50. Okay, super. Right, going to move on to the next question. Factorizing. Now, this is, I'm going to zoom this in a little bit. This is for 2 marks, and it's got a coefficient in front of the squared term. So this is a little bit more complicated than if it didn't have a number in front of our squared term. What we need to do here is something called explode in the middle, splitting the middle. Hello, yeah, in the chat, sharing the, I think that's a symbol for euros. Thank you very much. Thank you for going back and watching again. Appreciate that. We need to explode the middle or split the middle. I'm going to show you how to do that. There's a video on my channel if you want to go back and watch how to do that later on as well. I did that for one of my classes, one of the year groups I taught before, where, yeah, they asked for it, and I thought, you know what, that's a good thing to put on. Hello as well. Abdul in the chat from Pakistan. Hello. Right, we're going to explode or split the middle. And to do that, I need to multiply this first number and the last number together. So 6 times minus 4 gives me minus 24. So I need factor pairs of negative 24 that add to give minus 5. Okay. Sorry, Abdul, I forgot to check that last time, didn't I? So I'll have a look. I will have a look shortly, and I will let you know. Right. So factor pairs of negative 24 adds to minus 5. I can't think of them off the top of my head, so let's just start writing them down. Negative 1 times 24. Negative 2 times by 12. Negative 3 times by 8. Now, they add to make 5, which is close because I want minus 5. So I think the one I need is actually 3 times minus 8. So what I then do is I split this middle term into 3y and minus 8y. So I'm going to get 6y squared plus 3y minus 8y minus 4. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at these first 2 terms, and we're going to factorize them. And then we're going to look at these second 2 terms and factorize them. So thinking about the ones highlighted in pink, I can divide both of those by 3, and I can divide both of them by y. Now that is going to give me, well, 3y times 2 gives me 6 times y is y squared, and then plus 1. Now, this bracket should be included when I factorize this as well. So let's see, hopefully we get that. Now, I can factorize out of this minus 4 brackets, and then it's going to be, 2y and then plus 1, which is the same in both brackets, so I know I've done that right. Then I'm going to factorize the whole bracket out, that 2y plus 1. That's going to come to the front. We're going to get this. And then, excuse me, outside of the brackets, we've got 3y minus 4. Let's put that in a bracket. 3y minus 4. And that's it. Okay. So that's how you explode or split the middle. Hello, Jamie in the chat. Nice to see you. Hopefully this is useful for everybody watching as well. And sorry that the stream started late. It was not deliberate. Right. Next one, part B. We have got to add these 2 things together and express them as a single fraction in the simplest form. And this is for, how many marks are we looking at? I need to scroll down. 3 marks this is for. So it's actually not that bad for 3 marks. I think this is pretty easy. We need to make these denominators the same before we can add. The minute they're 4x and 3x, they've both got x in, so I just need to change it so the numbers are the same. Now, my lowest common multiple of 4 and 3 is 12, I think. 4, 8, 12. Yeah, 3 goes into 12, doesn't go into 8. So what I want to do, my tablet's just switched off. Hopefully I don't need to charge it. Otherwise that could be a problem. I might have to do this with the pen. So this writing may go not as well this next bit, but I'll do my best. I'm writing with the mouse. So over 12x. I'll look for the charger in a second, see if I can plug it in. And then we times here, top and bottom by 3. So we need to times the top here by 3. That's going to give me 6x plus 3. Okay, let me see very quickly if I can find the charger, so that would make things better for everybody. That looks like it. I've got a lot of wires in my drawer, which is not helpful, but I think I found the right one. Just 1 second. Okay, let's plug this in. Got to be very careful because the USB plug is right next to the plug.
From home AC.
There's Alexa. Will that reach? Yes, just about. Sorry about this, people. Technical difficulties. It is charging, it is working. Right, we're back on the road. Let's go. So, times the top and bottom of this one by 4. What software am I using for recording? So I'm using OBS, which is a free software that you can download and use. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really good for something that's free. So yeah, times top and bottom here by 4, 12x. And on the top, times by 4, 28 minus 20x. Yeah, you can hear Alexa, yeah. And now we can add the numerators. So I've got 6x minus 20x is going to give me minus 14x. 3 add 28 is 31 over 12x, which is a bit horrible, I'm going to be honest. But that is the right answer. That is what we need to get. So, yeah, there we go. Yeah, OBS, if you're interested in streaming or recording any videos, OBS is brilliant. So, if you want to know my setup, I will tell you. I've got this microphone, which you've probably seen a lot of streamers use. It's all right. You know, I don't really know how to use everything probably as well as I should do, but it works. You can mute yourself like I did in the other stream at the start. And I've got a Logitech streaming camera, and I don't know, I can't show you it, obviously. But yeah, that's very good, I would say. OBS as well can automatically just filter. Actually, no, it's not OBS. I've got an NVIDIA graphics card. It's the NVIDIA graphics card that's taken out the background. So yeah, that's pretty good. But OBS, you can pretty much set up anything, and I could definitely do a lot more with it if I put more time into doing that. But the main thing is the maths. So yeah, got that sorted at least. Right, next one, we've got a probability question, and zooming out. This is a tree diagram one clearly, which is quite nice. They've given us this a tree diagram question. It says, so we'll scroll up slightly, Harmon has 2 bags of beads in bag A. So bag A, bag B, they are 2 distinct bags of beads. There are 3 white beads and 7 black beads. In bag B, there are 5 white beads and 4 black beads. Harmon takes at random a bead from bag A and a bead from bag B. No, I don't stream every night. I'm streaming every night at the moment because the students in year 11, 5th year of my school they're coming up to their trial mock exams. And so what I thought was this would be good to help them. But I thought it would also, I could, you know, instead of trying to do 2.5 hours worth of videos, which I have done before, and I tried to do that with the last 2H paper, and then it crashed halfway through. I thought, well, do you know what? Why not do it 30 minutes, half an hour, or 45 minutes? Split it up. Then if it crashes, it crashes. I haven't lost too much, but also it's helping everybody coming up to their trials and the mock exams. So that's what I'm streaming at the minute. I'm streaming every night till Thursday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I will most likely do the same when it gets to the summer as well. So yeah, not every night, just up till Thursday at this point. How long do I stream for? Tonight I'm going to do it for the next 7 minutes because I've got to get to the football. Don't want to be late for that. But yeah, the other day I did one for an hour. If you want to look at the other live streams, go on my channel, click on live, and then you'll see them there, so you can watch those back. Right, I'm going to carry on, but thank you for the questions in the chat. I really appreciate it. With this question, we need to just do the fractions. So for bag A, we have got 3 white beads out of a total of 10 beads. Now, for the black beads, there are 7 of them out of 10. For bag B, there are 5 white beads out of 9, which means there are 4 black beads out of 9. And then the same for these branches down here. 5 out of 9, 4 out of 9. There is no replacement going on. There's going to be no changing of these fractions depending on what's happened in bag A. Work out the probability that Harmon takes 2 beads of the same colour. So we could have black and black, or we could have, I'll do it a different colour, we could have white and white. Okay, so there are 2 different options, and what I would suggest you do with tree diagrams is write these roots or these options at the end. So 3 over 10 times 5 over 9, that's going to give us 15 over 90, which I could simplify, but I'm not going to just yet. And you'll see why in a second. This one, the other option, which is black and then black, is 7 over 10 times by 4 over 9, which is going to give us 28 over 90. Now, we then need to add those 2 options together because we could have either of those. So we're going to do 15 over 90, add 28 over 90, and I can just do that on the calculator. 15 over 90 plus 28 over 90 gives me 43 over 90, which can't be simplified. Now, the problem is, if I'd simplified that 15 over 90 earlier, it would have been more complicated to add the 2 together, but the numerators, that is, and then I can't simplify it afterwards anyway. So 43 over 90 is the answer. Right, next question. We might be able to get 2 more in, depending on how quick I am. The combined savings of Abel and Bahira are 15,435 dinars. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. The savings of Bahira are 45% more than the savings of Abel. Okay. Savings of Bahira are 3 over 2 times, so 1.5 times the savings of Chanda. Work out the savings of Chanda. Now, this is not the easiest problem because there's a little bit going on here with percentages of fractions. How could we write this? So, what we've got is, I'm going to introduce some letters here. So Abel would be, let's call that X, how much Abel has saved, or Abel, depending on how that's pronounced. And if Bahira savings are 45% more, then the multiplier for an increase of 45% would be 1.45. So Bahira's would be 1.45x, 1.45 times Abel's amount. Now, the combined savings, so if we add those 2 together, so x add 1.45x, that's equal to 15,435. Now, nearly dropped the calculator. This x doesn't have a number in front of it, which means it's 1. And then we just add the numbers in front. So we get 2.45x is equal to 15,435. Then we're going to divide by that decimal in front of the x, so 2.45. And what this will do is it will tell us Abel's amount that they saved, and then we can work out Bahira's and then go from Bahira's to Chanda's. So 15,435 divided by 2.45 is 6,300. That's a nice round number. Fills me with a little bit of confidence. Okay. Now, Bahira's is 1.45x. I'm going to scroll down here. So we do 1.45 times 6,300, which is 9,135. I'm going to put in brackets here. That's Abel. And then the other one is Bahira. Now I need to go back to the question and read this line again. The savings of Bahira are 3 over 2 times the saving of Chanda. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write this in terms of an equation. So the here is savings 9135 are or is, that means equals. So equals 3/2 times, we've got that underneath already, times, and then we've got the savings of Chanda. Now I'm just going to put C for Chanda here, okay, and I'm going to work that out. Now as you can see, we've got the 3/2 times C, so to cancel that out and get just left with the savings of Chanda, I'm going to divide both sides by 3/2. And because we've got our calculators, we can just do that all in one go. We don't need to times by 2 and divide by 3. Okay, so 9135 divided by, in brackets, I'm going to put it, although actually I don't think they're necessary, but I'm going to put it in brackets anyway. And then 6,090 is the amount for Chanda. Okay, so that's our answer. When are the Edexcel exams, Abdul? They are, well, you'd have to check because it depends which ones they are specifically. I know you'd spoken about the O-level ones in Pakistan, so I don't know when they would be. Usually, looking at the dates of the papers, at least the IGCSE papers, scroll back up to the top, you've got one at the middle of May, and then you normally have one at the start of June, but it all depends the exact dates each year. So they change each year. We'd have to look that up. And you know what I will do in a second is I will look up the specification for the GCSE in Pakistan very quickly, and I can let you know the things that are on it. But it would be something that I would also encourage you to do, because it's helpful for you, the person sitting it, to know exactly what's on there, what you need to know. Right, okay, I will do that very quickly. Okay, I don't think, well, it doesn't matter anyway. So let me type in O level maths. Okay, so it says, just looking up quickly online, it aligns with the Cambridge O-level math syllabus. Okay, that's what it says. Let me just have a quick look. So there'll be a Cambridge O-level mathematics syllabus. Having a quick look, 2025, 2027 syllabus. What I'll do, if I can, I think I can, I'll put a link in the chat when I've got it. That's right. Why is that not working? It's got syllabus changes. We want to click on the actual syllabus. It's not loading it. Here we go. This looks like it. Yes. So, looking at it quickly, you would have, for this O-level in GCSE Pakistan, you've got a non-calculator paper and a calculator paper. Content overview, you have got, so a quick look through. You've got number work, so you've got lowest common multiple, highest common factor, rational, irrational numbers, reciprocals. You've got sets, you've got powers or roots, fractions, indices, standard form, estimation. So you've got lots of the same things that would be on the papers that I'm going through. I'll put a link for that down in the chat so you can have a look at that. There you go. How often do I usually stream? I don't normally stream, so I normally just do a video every Monday at 5 p.m. So, but yeah, sometimes like this before the, trial exams, mock exams, before the actual exams, I might do some streams like I've done recently. But yeah, tomorrow, I haven't set one up yet. I will set one up as quickly as I can. That will be for, let's say, I'll do for 7 tomorrow, because that way it's not too late when I'm eating as well. Okay, right. Well, I will say thank you very much, and goodbye. Have a good evening, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow for another stream if you want to join me. All right. Till then, bye-bye. Further maths past papers, I'll have a look at that. Yeah, I will see what I can do. Put in the chats, put in the comments, any questions or any papers you want me to go through specifically. That would be very helpful, and I'll make sure I do that tomorrow or Wednesday. All right. Bye-bye.